No. Saying. I don't love. I was trying to make people. I have no idea. I just feel like I see people that I don't see others. So. He said that was.
Yes, and then there are a couple of them.
There we are. One shot.
Well,
Then,
probably.
It's a good match.
my father.
All right, you ready?
We're great.
All right, thank you. We're, technical issues all squared away. We're gonna call the meeting to order. Roll call first. Pledge and then roll. All right. You'll, join the pledge.
It's first day of the job.
Part of the.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so I'm gonna do, roll call. We'll start over here on my right. There again, Michael Riddle.
Matt Wallace.
And anybody on the phone? I see Bridget online.
She sent a text or chat that she was here.
All right, I think that counts. I think she also probably, that's probably my phone going on. Anyway, all right. So that's four of us.
Yes.
And I believe Adele's gonna be joining us. All right, so, recognitions, Dr. Thorne, please.
Yeah, so we're excited. We have the whole slate here today. We will go ahead and get started. We will start with our staff members of the month. As a reminder, each month, staff, students, parents, and community members can nominate staff members of the month. From there, our elementary picks one, middle picks one, high school picks one. And when selected, not only do they get to come to this wonderful board meeting and get a certificate with Michael Riddle's signature on it, but they also get a parking spot for the month. And to be delivered on Tuesday, a Texas Roadhouse gift certificate as well, recognizing them as our staff members of the month. So we'll go ahead and get started with our elementary staff member of the month, the wonderful Miss Turner, who is still recovering from the art show from last week. But Miss Turner was nominated by a colleague. Ms. Turner is recognized for her unwavering commitment to the student well-being and for fostering a classroom culture rooted in safety and mutual respect. And specifically, the colleague said, Ms. Turner does an outstanding job building and maintaining relationships with students. She is devoted to
Okay.
That was a little embarrassing. Our voice is gone. So there we go. Devoted to their well-being and making sure they always are. She's always being a listening ear when they need it. She does a wonderful job having a classroom that is centered around students' needs and everyone's feeling safe and valued. Riverwalk Academy is looking at her. I know. So for that reason, Ms. Turner was our elementary staff member of the month. So come on up, Ms. Turner. You want to get a picture? Yes. That is a surprise. Yes. You know,
Right.
we should know everybody the places. Yes. They're very excited with their goal, goal first. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Excuse
Oh, the word comes on.
me, okay. Moving on to our middle school staff member of the month, normally Miss Maybe. So nominated by a staff member, Miss Maybe is celebrated for her positive presence, and vital behind the scenes contributions. They keep the school up and running smoothly. The colleague specifically said that Miss Maybe is always friendly, helpful, and supportive. She always greets me and other staff members with a friendly smile and hello. She also does a lot of behind the scenes work that is often invisible, but keeps Riverwalk Academy thriving. For these reasons, I believe Miss Maybe deserves to be the staff member of the month, and we couldn't agree any more as well. So congratulations, Miss Maybe. And I believe you are starting to have a collection of these in your office.
Very many. And they're all different years.
When's always nice, and when's too late with the turkey.
Yes.
Yeah. There should have been an asterisk there. And then, in that case, she still greets me, but just not this line. We were just talking about the other side of this, maybe, it usually comes out, every 9 weeks around when grades are due and we're waiting a verification report, so. This is a non-verification report month, so that was why we were. Moving on to our high school staff member of the month, the one and only Miss Snipes. So, Miss Snipes is nominated by a student. Ms. Snipes is being recognized for her kindness and her ability to uphold our commitment to treating every student with respect and fairness. And specifically, the student said that she is very understanding, kind, and respectful. She makes sure to invest in us based on our individual needs and make sure that everyone feels like they matter. So for that reason, Snipes was our high school staff member of the month. So congratulations, Miss Snipes. Yes.
Got a big crowd.
Yeah.
Thank you. Glad working.
And so that's the recognition we've got this month. Next month, we'll have some more staff members and a few students that will be recognized. So look forward to May. All right, unless anyone wants to have public comment. No, anyone signed up?
All right, so no public comment. All right, thank you. If this is the portion of the meeting where we usually say people can leave if they want to, but you're more than welcome to stay, so. All right, number 4, consent agenda. So tonight we have agenda approval, minutes from the last meeting. The March financial report, which is in your board packet, and we do have the board resignation that I talked about, that we haven't done a formal acceptance for yet. So Becky Country, did take her resignation from her seat, so that seat will be up in election next month. We just need to acknowledge, accept that resignation. So those are the things on the consent agenda. Take a motion to accept the consent agenda items. All right, second. All right, second. All in favor? Aye. All right. That passes. Carries. All right, that's consent agenda. All right, Dr. Compton. School updates.
Just a few updates today. We will quickly start with enrollment projections. So, for the extra text I have on there. But these are the projections that as if tomorrow was the first day of the 26-27 school year, we would have 842 students present. So we have right now presently a wait list of about 320. We've offered out over 100 seats. We've got most of them confirmed. We've got 739 returning, which includes which just pulls out the seniors, and then the few folks that we're losing. Most of that loss is still between 8 and 9. But I'll tell you, since having the building here, that slide that we normally see between 8 and 9 is not like it used to be. So like I said, if tomorrow was day 1, we would be at 842. We just got a few hours ago first draft, not official draft because it's got to come to y'all, but I just saw our first peek at the budget. The budget's going to be built off 830 students. And so I'll have the budget, to y'all. Probably in about 2 weeks, and then, which will be a couple weeks after the May meeting, so you'll be able to take a look at that. But right now, we're, we built this year's budget off 795. Our 130th day was 791 and almost 792, and so we were pretty close to our projection. The start of the year, slightly, I think, right at 800. So within 8 students is a pretty good spot to land. And so so we keep monitoring that. And that number will probably change a little bit as well. It's easy to quickly enroll K through 8. I mean, really, there's not a lot of seats to return to, but they're going right now. Anyone who's enrolling as a 10th, 11th, or 12th grader, looking at their transcript, just kind of one by one to make sure that what their needs are can be met with our schedule. And I've kind of explained this before when we only have so many sections of English 1, English 2, English 3, and so if a student comes in who's needing something that doesn't fit what we're offering at the time, and we're pretty upfront with the families. But those are done individual counseling between our high school counselor and family. So like I said, those high school numbers will tweak a little bit probably over the next month or so. We're looking about where we expect it to look, in terms of our projection and where so that's kind of where we're sitting with that. Since we last met, and I was thinking about this earlier today, because tomorrow I pack up tonight. I'm headed to Camp Cherokee to spend the night with our 5th grade students tomorrow night. So I was thinking back exactly a month ago, we were packing up the next morning to head to New Orleans, and so we were able to go to the NIT conference. We had an outstanding time. I think we learned a lot. I think our practices were kind of validated there. It was interesting kind of debriefing with everyone in terms of, when we went 4 years ago versus where we're at now. And, 4 years ago, everything was just, we were kind of like deer in headlight, like, wow, this is awesome. And now we're looking at it through definitely much different lens. Learned a lot there, but also saw things that we were like, wow, we do that, but we do that better. Or wow, if we tweak this a little bit, it'll be, and so it was definitely a much different experience than we have previously had. Unfortunately, we were not named the Founder Award recipient. However, we still enjoyed our time, still checks in the mail. We're coming back with a $10,000 check to the school, so for being named a finalist. And so we had a great time. Enjoyed hanging out with the state superintendent of education and a few others from the State Department there. And so definitely worth it. Looking forward to it next year. The school that won, I would have nothing but positive things to say about it. Kind of watching all the videos of the finalists, would have put them as the winners as well. So, but I mean, you couldn't have gone wrong with any of us. Definitely a great experience, and it was neat being there, and like I said, the State Superintendent of Education is there because one of her schools was named as a finalist, and so it was just kind of neat representing the state. I think representing charter schools movement. So definitely a positive experience. But some other updates for you. So elementary. So 3rd grade students hosted their POL, presentation of learning, by organizing sporting events for 2nd grade students, and they did it in the Shanika's class as well. They did an outstanding job planning and leading the experience, demonstrating strong collaboration, leadership, and pride in their work. 3rd grade was tasked this year to come up with a sports-related POL or PBL project, and they started this back in September. They landed on the driving question of how can we design a sports event that brings our school community together. And watching all the 3rd graders out there last Friday leading the classes of 2nd graders, and I mean, adults were out there, but it was neat seeing the adults on the sidelines watching the students and 3rd grade students sort of leading. out there. We didn't have to have adults out there, settling disagreements, because third grade realized that, there's going to be disagreements when it comes to sporting events. They had a rules person there. They had a student that was in charge of first day. And so every third grade student played a role. I had an opportunity to interview some of the third graders about their experience and just about this experience throughout the whole year. It was neat, the feedback that I was receiving. I mean, to hear a third grader say at the beginning of the year, I really didn't like to work with anyone else because it was much easier just to do the work myself. And to say that now I understand sort of the role that we all have to play together, and I kind of enjoy doing group work. That was sort of a overarching theme, and which pairs nicely with exactly what third grade's soft skill was, which was collaboration. So fourth grade has their POL coming up. Eighth grade just finished theirs last Friday. That's wrong. Third grade was a Friday ago. Eighth grade was Friday. Theirs was about self-directed learning, and we'll talk about that in a second. And ninth grade is coming up as well, and their soft skills, self-directed learning as well. So I think we're definitely sort of finally can define what PBL looks like at Riverwalk. Define what it means every day. It means, when we're in a project, when we're out of a project. So that's kind of been our big focus this year. So we were excited about these projects, and so yeah, so third grade did a fantastic job. Kindergarten students showcase, they had POL as well, showcase their learning during a presentation of learning, sharing their work with families and peers. They did a wonderful job presenting what they learned about animals and their habitats. The kindergarten, their driving question this year was, what do animals need to survive? And so it was neat seeing, again, the kindergartners coming in and actually answering questions, receiving feedback from families, and not just, we're trying to move away from POL means come in and hear students present, and we all say great job and get a cookie and leave. Like, it's meant to be this presentation of learning in a place where we can receive feedback and kind of, even fine tune our craft even more. And so seeing kindergartners now going through and I think parents are understanding the role that they play in this whole process. Just walking through it, smiling and saying great job isn't what we are looking for. We really are looking for feedback and questions and questions that challenge them. And so kindergarten did a fantastic job with theirs. And then you heard me mention this a few minutes ago, Ms. Turner, and then our middle school, our teacher, Ms. Kay, hosted an art show for families and students, giving everyone the opportunity to view student artwork on display. It was great seeing our hallways and multi-purpose room filled with creativity, and even more meaningful to watch the families celebrate students' hard work. So that was a great event had. Middle school, you heard me talk about this, but eighth grade students held their POL last Friday. And so the students this is a culminating year-long project and understanding of their role in the community. Students and staff did a fantastic job telling the why Riverwalk story to several community members. So on Friday, they not only were presenting, we also had 5 members of the community, 4 here, that were going around and talking to the students and talking to the groups and providing feedback to what their project was. And so again, we just kind of, I think everyone started to leap of faith this year with these overarching projects, and it was just kind of neat to walk out of here last Friday, the Friday before, with third grade and eighth grade, and like I said, we've got fourth grade coming up, ninth grade as well. But just kind of neat to see how far we've come and see the level of professionalism too. To have a bunch of eighth graders coming in with guests in the building. That looked good, sounded good. I mean, their work was pretty inspirational. A lot of 3-dimensional objects they built and designs of buildings, and so just definitely great to kind of reflect and think back to where we started and where we are now. Middle and high school band concert was held that same week as well. Students in outstanding, no, it was last board meeting, sorry. And some of our students, the students did an outstanding job, and we have several who are headed to all region auditions, which Mr. Yost has done a fantastic job with the students. And one of the things that has kind of evolved is our students being pushed musically outside their comfort zone and to try out for things like all region, all state band. And so we're excited about those students and those who are, being vulnerable by going out and trying something that, that they didn't think was possible. So hoping in May we can talk about, the outcomes of those auditions. And then through elementary, our show was also paired with middle school. And so several talented students, the show helped tell the story of Riverwalk's commitment to the development of the whole child. And so it was, again, just a great afternoon, evening, and both sides. So definitely appreciate the work that Ms. Turner's done, the middle school's done, their leadership as well, to make this happen. And then we had, this was 2 weeks ago, the middle school participated in their spring theater production. It's a chance for students to share their love for theater and acting, showcasing important life skills. And students, again, have just done an outstanding job, knowing with, the fact that we don't have a theater here, we don't have an auditorium, we don't have a black box theater, set up, but the students still, still do it and do it extremely well. And it was something I think we all can be proud of, and not just, something that was just simply done. It was something that, definitely carried the Riverwalk pride into it. And then kind of as we've talked before, things are starting to wrap up. It's hard to believe we've only got, someone said this the other day, 4 Mondays remaining. One of them's Memorial Day, so we might have 5 Tuesdays remaining, but yeah, it's flying by and starting to wrap up. So we've got 2 things happening. We've got the 8th grade promotion ceremony happening, and then we've got the 8th grade dance as well, the formal coming up. So kind of a good ending to middle school for this school year. Some high school updates. We got prom on Saturday over at Meadow Lakes 2 Clubhouse. We have our annual senior picnic coming up the following week. The seniors' last day will be on May 8th. We finally, our awards night keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we finally were able to lock down a location. Awards night will be a couple days before graduation over at Dutcher Creek. And then I would love for all aboard to circle May 21st, their calendars. This is your invitation to be at our graduation ceremony. It'll be over at the Rock Hill Event Center. May 21st, starts at 6:30. Last right at 1 hour. It's gonna look different than previous years, just with the number of graduates we've got. It's getting bigger and bigger, and not to call anyone out, but then following year, Dr. Dempsey will get to be a parent, watch one of hers graduate. So a lot of excitement to be had as we sort of wrap up this school year. BPA is rocking it. They had their community fair, their car show. They had some outstanding cars here. They will be heading out to Nashville in about 2 weeks or a week and a half to compete in national competition. And so we're excited about that. There will be a Chick-fil-A biscuit sale. Get them while they're hot. Limited supplies. But we've got 3 times the number. So not as chaotic as last time. Yes. But we've got that coming up on Thursday. And again, we will be sending these students off before we meet again. So wishing them all the best of luck. And they will do an outstanding job there. How many do we have qualified coming student? Yeah, it's 5.
It's 15.
15. So that'd be a fun trip to finish.
Actually, we had 16 ones that I looked, 16 that qualified.
How many other ones bus? Wow. Good luck. Hope about our second already. Because the prices are going up. But, so anyways, we're excited about that. Athletics are slowly starting to ramp up. Track and field region championships are coming up on the 30th. And then they go from region to state on May 16th. Is it back at CA Johnson this year?
Spread state is at, Spring Valley.
3 million, very good. And then golf has their region championship on May 5th, and they will be wrapping up on May 11th. So then it's been a great year for our spring sports. And before you know it, fall sports will be here. So we are having an athletic information meeting coming up on the 23rd, so on Thursday, over this NPR. So if anyone that are interested and finding out about sports offerings, especially rising 7th graders that are new to the process. You need to understand, everything from the physicals and how to log in and get registered. I'll have an athletic meeting here on Thursday. And that is it for the updates.
Sorry, I missed the time for graduation. Is that 6:30?
6:30.
Just want to make sure my calendar is updated.
I'd like to have y'all there, but I know 6:10. 6:15 at the absolute latest. It keeps me from pacing and stressing.
You're gonna pace it, stress it.
You're right.
All right, thank you, Dr. Collins. So action items for today. First, I think we have a second reading of the lead bank policy.
Yeah, so last meeting, we did first reading of a sick leave bank policy. Just a few things. So I did, like I promised, I received feedback from the staff. We had about 21 staff members respond. The average rating on the file was a 4.14, and then 88% were supportive. The other 12% were either neutral or not supportive, but it's not that they weren't supportive. They had some questions that you could see kind of in their feedback. So overwhelming support of it. Strong support for the concept and the purpose. It's seen as a meaningful way to support colleagues in times of need and aligned with our very collaborative culture. We did have some feedback and great feedback. I really appreciate the staff who really put some thought into it. Things that we need to kind of operationally define with it, clarify a view. So, some questions about like what qualifies as a leave event. That was a common question. Some folks had concerns about the timing. It was interesting because it said that we would have a 90-day waiting period for new hires, which is pretty typical, but it was interesting that the staff was very empathetic towards the new hires. They said specifically, especially for first year teachers, that's hard, and that's usually when they need to access it. So, it was definitely, like I said, very deep perspective from the staff. That really, I think, just sort of clearing up the procedures and the timelines, and so, all in all, like the feedback was great. We made some minor tweaks, nothing major to point out from the first reading. But yeah, I think we're ready to move forward with it. What Mr. Johnson and I will do probably in the administration over the summer is start actually outlining, okay, so here's the process to do it. Then we will start rolling it out in August. But a copy of it is in the folders if y'all wanted to read it.
So I think there's a motion to accept the second, to approve the second reading and accept the policy.
do have a question because I don't understand it well. So my question is really that, my clarification. Where it says the excess leave is automatically transferred on July 1st. My assumption is that they would normally use that anyway.
So there's two pieces to that. So in a traditional district, I think you can bank up to 60 or 90
Or
leave banking. Is that 60?
so typically at, what you're able to do is bank up to, 90 days, 90, it's usually 90 to 12 months. Now, most districts, what they have is in their, if the budget allows, then they will pay anything above 90, a portion of like 1/4 of a day per day you have over that 90 at the Christmas break timeframe, assuming there's money in the budget.
So for us in the charter school, so we don't have to do that. When I first got here, we did nothing rolled over. So you got essentially 10 days a year, 1 day for every next day worked, and you use it or lose it. So a couple years ago, and I understand why. When you're a small charter school, one person with 90 days can really have a pretty significant impact on school operations. So over the past couple of years, we have started rolling out rollover days. And so we've got it right now in our handbook that up to 25 days can be rolled over, or can be approved. And so going along with kind of how they laid it out in the state regulation about it's 90 days and automatically anything over automatically gets contributed. The same thing here, anything for us, our maximum is 25, so anything in 25 days would roll over. And so July 1, and all that would start the following summer. So, it would be the first time we would ever roll anything over. No one's at the 25 mark anyway. But in theory, if we did have someone at the 25 mark, then July 1, 27, next school year would be more.
Is there a cap on your amount of bank leaves since you are a small charter school?
So 25 days.
25 in the bank or
25. A staff member can earn up to 25, can have 25 in themselves. We're not capping, but we're not capping the amount in the bank.
okay.
And this was actually one of the questions from the staff member, and I honestly never thought about this question. The question is, so, let's say come the fall and I have 10 staff members that take advantage of this. We've got it written out that you can, I think, access up to 30 days, for a severe medical issue. And so what happens if I only have 10 staff members in 10 days? Like, to be honest, I've not thought about that. We're kind of going into this going, we know that at some point we will hit the cap mark.
Okay.
But we're gonna go ahead and start operating as if we have the capacity to operate, with these three. So, we're not gonna wait for it to bank up to let folks start accessing it. We're gonna, folks who have bought into the bank will have the same full benefits as if it was 10 years down the road. And, we've got a total of 100 days.
Okay.
Any other questions? On the application and approval process, so there's a written request reviewed by panel. And then on the appeals, just what was the rationale for taking that out of a panel decision and leaving that just with head of school?
I think the thought process was it was numbers. To have a panel, if I've got one building admin who's on that initial panel with HR and staff member, then we sort of lose that. We don't have a second admin that would then replace, and so that was sort of the thinking. And I also think it was sort of modeled after like what other school districts. I'm trying to think. I think that one was also their appellate process was sort of modeled after what we were seeing in all the other traditional districts. Was a panel on the front end and then one person after that. Sure. Great questions.
Yeah. Version, yes, no, any questions?
No questions, and I'm for it. Mhm.
So, motion to approve the reading and accept the policy.
Make a motion to approve the reading. And here without application.
I'll second that motion. All right, all in favor? Guys, you're,
Get it rolled out and we'll start in August.
thank you.
And then the second piece for action item this month, next month we'll have this plus the board reading or the budget reading. The second one for this month is the head of school evaluation. The area is communication and support to the board. And so the monitoring report is that the head of school shall ensure that the board of directors is consistently provided with timely, accurate, and relevant information necessary to fulfilling its governance responsibilities. This includes proactive communication and transparent, complete, and aligned to the expectations. The head of school shall not fail to provide required monitoring and performance reports to the board in a timely manner. Shall not allow the board to remain uninformed of significant internal or external developments, including emerging trends, potential adverse publicity, things like that. Shall not withhold professional judgment if the school believes the board may be acting consistently with its own policies. Shall not limit the board's ability to access necessary information, perspectives. Shall not fail to provide adequate administrative support, resources, communication structures for the board to carry out its duties, and shall not show preferential treatment to individual board members over other board members as a whole that would undermine the whole collective process. So that's sort of the expectations as I think about what that looks like for me. I interpret the policy to mean that the head of school is responsible for ensuring the board of directors is consistently and practically informed about the health, performance, and direction of Riverwalk Academy, including both routine reporting and timely communication and emerging issues that may impact the school's operations, strategic direction, or public perception. And I will provide timely reporting to the board, provide proactive situational awareness, so keeping you all informed of any internal or external developments, any trends, any potential risks, things like that. Will exercise professional judgment by notifying the board when, in my opinion, actions or discussions may be inconsistent with established board policies, and that's just that the relationship between the school and the board. That if I feel like there's concern, I should be able to bring it to you. I'll just, likewise, if there's a lot of concern with my performance, y'all would bring it to me, but it really just kind of keeps that two-way communication between us and the board going. Ensure that the board has access to relevant information when appropriate, multiple perspectives, including internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, and such. Provide administrative support resources necessary for y'all to carry out your governance, and then maintain transparent and upheld collective governance. So ensure that communication with individual board members doesn't result in preferred access or preferential access to information or underlying the integrity of the board. So that's my interpretation of what y'all's expectations are.
All right, so same as always, make a motion where we agree with just the interpretation.
Make a motion to approve the interpretation provided by
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good, all right, so we agree with your interpretation.
So as I thought about this, I thought about sort of expectations, board members who received electronic copies of meeting materials. At least a day in advance. We're getting better at getting things in there a little earlier, especially when things need a little more review. And then provide hard copies if folks need to as well. That the board proactively informs us of internal, external developments, and weekly, every other week updates, as well as real-time communication when warranted. So, if everything's going as planned, the board usually hears from me, at least every other week, in most cases weekly. But if something does come up midweek or something I need to make y'all aware of, we will give that out to y'all, ASAP, just to, again, keep everyone updated. If we had any emergent risks related to finances, staffing, enrollment, things like that, obviously, I would be bringing that to y'all. But, knock on wood, that hasn't happened yet. While we haven't had any sort of interactions today, I do maintain awareness of board's action discussion relative to the policy, and I am prepared to have a conversation or raise a concern if I felt like the board was acting in a manner that sort of overstepped the operational side of things, just like, y'all are vision setting and holding me accountable, and and y'all sort of set guardrails with these expectations. If I felt like something was overstepping, would feel comfortable having that conversation with the board or expressing my concerns. But again, hasn't happened. Access to information, board recommendations, proposals, and from multiple stakeholder perspectives. We meet with stakeholders. So, we give feedback like when we did the calendar, or in this case, the second reading of the sick leave week. I brought information forward that came from from my staff. It's spring, the birds are out. Board supported through structured meeting preparedness, on my dissemination of materials, communication, agendas, things like that, and then all information shared with the board. So the whole presented, I believe in a transparent and collective nature. I do, don't have many, but when the question comes up, I answer. And if it's something that needs to, the question I think is something the whole board needs to hear, then I'll move the whole board into the individual conversation. But again, that just sort of maintains that transparency and trust, and kind of based on this and my communication with you, I do believe I'm in compliance, the expectations of this policy.
All right, so, next action, we'll make a motion whether we agree or disagree, have schools in compliance with the expectations. Make a motion that the head of school complies with the expectations of communication and with the board.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That was good. Thank you, Dr. Conley. All right, didn't quite work out the way you wanted to do, Dr. Conley. It's the thought that counts. We'll have to, we'll blame it on Mr. Carroll as he's not here. We'll make it his problem.
Had a great picture this time.
Not saying that they took my picture about an hour ago and stuck it on a slide, but that's definitely what they tried to do. All right, so updates. I've got a couple of things. First, the biggest one is elections are coming up.
3 and 2.
Yeah, so we've got 3 seats up for election and 2 seats up for appointment. I believe the appointed seats are currently held by Mac and Dr. Bennett. Elected seats that are coming up, I think, Becky Contrary resigned, myself, and Amy. I can't remember. We'll have to look into that and see whose seat is up. Either way, so there are gonna be 5 seats that we have to fill coming up. Elections. So you've got the timeline in your packet here. So it's Adele, you're right. This is Adele, you're back up for re-election because you were finishing out Mr. Williston's term. So that's correct. I don't know why I blamed him. So the 27th, so in a few days, a little less than a week. We'll send out the call for elections. There'll be a form. The filing will close on the 6th. Candidate profiles will be posted by the 8th. And then there will be links sent out for voting. So by the time we have our next board meeting, I believe the election results will be certified and we'll be able to announce those next board.
And we did, and it's on the slides, we did set up a web page, so we're archiving elections. So the information will go out, it outlines who's managing it, the timelines, the link that they will click, filing and all that. So we have set the website just to, for folks that missed that email, they can get it off our.
So, with that, that being said, I highly encourage everybody who's listening at home, everybody who's here, everybody in the room, your well-qualified friends and colleagues, member members, community members, suggest that they put their name in the hat because we will see a strong turnout and have some good candidates for folks to for election. And you know, we have just a real windfall of real quality candidates. We can't elect them all, obviously. That gives us an even greater. So, I will not be here. I think I told Matt I won't be here for the next board meeting. But the fact that graduation is that week, I might have to change my my business plan because that's important as far as I'm concerned. So I'll see what I can do. I do strongly recommend that everybody who's on the board be there for graduation. It's a great event to be part of. I think I've done every graduation that we've had so far.
And we have a first this graduation. So our first kindergarten through senior class is technically our junior class. So we have a handful of students in our current junior class that have been here since kindergarten. We also have 2 students who started in kindergarten who are graduating a year early. So we do have 2 students who are beating the other group out as our first K-12 graduates. So next year we'll obviously celebrate those 2. But next year will be that first cohort that has done all 13 years with us. But yeah, it's been special. We've got 2 students who 100% of their schooling has been Riverwalk Academy, graduating here in about a month.
Very good. Awesome. So other things, since I'm not gonna be here next week, I will kind of put some notes together. But I've been thinking about things we'll be doing over the next few months, before our session's over. So the session runs, again, July 1 through June 30. So we've still got a couple of months that we've got, ahead of us this session. Dr. Compton's gonna be presenting, I think he said the first reading of the budget, to us in May, which means we roll out a June meeting, or budget reading, gives us some more time together to do some planning. So I have a couple of things in mind that I'd like to get kicked off before I ride off into the sunset. So that's really all I kind of have for right now.
I think it's in the minutes. We made a motion last meeting. I think you were appointed to the board for 2 more years.
I didn't see that.
I agree. I think we did do that.
So I didn't see that in the minutes. I think from last time, I think we already approved those. I'll go review again. I think
Fine friends.
small print. I think eight years is probably a good run. Take a sabbatical and then maybe I'll come back. See, but I appreciate it. I think the only thing we have left is a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. I'll second.